with, oh my gosh, the torque off the line. Woo! Oh man! Some of the reasons why I hesitated on buying the Yamaha MT07 for many years is because I heard a few people out there talking smack about the bike, saying the suspension's bad, it's cheaply built, the steel frame's prone to rust, yada yada yada. So I didn't buy one for many years. And then I saw so many videos, tons of people saying how awesome this bike was, how much fun it was. And I was like, you know what? I gotta try it, man. I tried the MT09. I gotta try the MT07. So that's why I bought it. And I've owned it for over 7 months now, ridden it all through the winter. I didn't even wash it. It's sitting in road salt right there. So I'm fixing to show you whether this thing has got rust on the frame. Also talk about some of the negative things that some people were saying and tell you if that's actually true. And also just give my experience after owning this bike after 7 months and tell you the real deal about this bike. Just like I did the MT09, and I kept it real with you guys, and I sold that MT09 rather quickly. But I'm fixing to give you the real truth about the MT07.
Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today.
First off, I want to say if you haven't seen the full build series that I did with this bike, where I put lots of mods on this bike, go check out that playlist in the top right corner of this video. And I have links to all the mod parts that I put on this bike in the description and comment section of this video. Also, make sure you guys are wearing the gear to stay safe out there. And I have links to my awesome gear, like this awesome airbag vest to help keep you safe. I never leave home without it. My ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet that comes with an automatic tint shield, motovlog camera, jacket, boots, everything. All my gear is in the description and comment section of this video. First off, rust. That's what I really wanted to do this video to show you. Like I said, I've ridden this all winter long here in Ohio, which we get snow. We got, look, I got, like I said, road salt right there underneath the bike. And I will tell you guys, I looked at every inch, the welds on the swing arm, the frame, not a speck of rust anywhere. Nowhere. And I didn't even wash the bike, guys, since I bought it back in September of last year. Look at that. Chain looks like new still. Oh, look at that. I haven't even washed and cleaned and lubed the chain yet, guys. Look at that. So far, no rust. But if I do find some rust, I'm going to tell you about it. Because I'm going to start off with some of the cons that I've experienced so far. A con that I experienced is that sometimes when I'm sitting on the bike and it's running, say I'm changing batteries in my cameras or something, or doing something and sitting for a while, sometimes the fan will kick on. It's kind of loud. I don't remember if it did that in stock form, so I don't know if it's because of the modifications. Maybe it's running a little hotter because of the modifications I did to the bike. I don't know, but it's not that big of a deal. It just doesn't do it that often. Another con I would have to say is that the fuel efficiency is not what they say it is, but I did modifications to this bike. They say stock form gets 58 miles per gallon. This bike, I've only gotten 39 miles per gallon average. That's a big that's almost a 20 mile per gallon difference, man. The MT09 was actually worse. I owned a 2020 Yamaha MT09, which is the previous generation. I only got 37 miles per gallon average, and it had the same modifications as this bike. So that bike was even worse. And yes, I did find myself going to the gas station a bit more often on the MT09. By the way, the modifications that I did, I won't go over everything, but the main one that I did put a full Probems exhaust, which is, I highly recommend that. Like I said, I have a link to this exhaust and all my other mods in the description and comment section of this video. But this, in my opinion, is the best, hands down, the best exhaust for this bike. It's made for this bike. You don't even have to flash tune or put a power commander for this full exhaust. It's made for this bike. And there's been some motovloggers that have proven it, because the ECUs on this new 2021 MT07 and newer actually will adjust automatically. So you don't even really have to do nothing. But I did do an ECU flash and remove all the restrictions with my DynoJet PowerVision ECU flash tuner, which I highly recommend. I have a link to in the description and comment section of this video. That is awesome because you can use it on any bike. I use it on my MT09 as well. You just connect it to the bike's ECU and it will save the stock settings, so you can always go back to stock settings, but it will remove the restrictions. It will put the proper map for the exhaust you have, and it will be perfect. And then you disconnect it. You don't have to carry any extra. The sound with this Akrapovic exhaust, woo! I call it a Yamaha Davidson. Now, I know some of you guys are like, Cycle Cruiser, you know, how can you say the MT09 is better than the MT07, which I've told you in the previous videos. I love the triple cylinder engine on the MT09, guys, but I didn't like the chassis. It's like a fake Supermoto feel, you know. It's not the real deal like my Supermoto. It just it didn't fit me right. But this MT07, it just gels, man. It just feels, it's more comfortable. You're not sitting up on the tank. It's just very relaxing and beautiful. And it has, to me, the grunt off the line is very similar to the MT09. It may be a hair, maybe just a hair less than the MT09, but it's right there. Now, the MT09 has a better top end, of course, but this one, it does great on the highway, believe it or not. Some of you guys say the suspension is garbage on this bike. Yes, it's not adjustable, as you see here. There's no clickers on there, nothing. You get what you get. But if you're not overweight, which I'm only $170 on a good day, and with gear, maybe $190, $195, maybe $200 with all the gear and backpack and everything and stuff. And I tell you, it's great. It's fine out here on the streets, man. I've never felt like I needed to upgrade the suspension. And I'll tell you, it's great having a little bit softer suspension out here on these Cleveland, horrible, filthy streets of Cleveland, Ohio, in the city with potholes, just rough, raggedy public street road. This thing does perfect. You would not want a firm suspension on bad roads, guys. Trust me. Because if you do have a firm race suspension on there, you're going to feel every bump and everything, and it's just not going to be a comfortable ride. You know, the firm suspension is going to be better at the track. So, which I have not taken this bike to the track, so I can't speak on its performance at the track. But the street, the suspension is just fine as long as you're normal weight. You know what I'm saying? If you're above 200 pounds, you may want to think about upgrading front suspension on here. As far as it being cheaply built, some of you guys have said, honestly, that's what I like. One of the reasons why I kind of like this bike, because these cheap plastics here, which this plastic here seems kind of chintzy, and this seems kind of a little bit cheap. But what's awesome about this bike is that these fairings here, they actually protect the fuel tank underneath. And it's awesome so that if you drop the bike or you scratch it, you know what? These are really cheap to replace. Like $40 or something like that, man. I love that. And these bikes, another reason to get the MT07 is so many people have this bike and it's so popular is that the parts and aftermarket parts are cheaper. Unlike the Tuono that I had, which a lot of people don't have, and it's not as popular, those parts are very expensive because, you know, you have less demand for them, which means obviously the prices are going to be a lot more expensive. Because I'll tell you, if you ever drop a bike that has a metal tank and it doesn't have fairings that, you end up with a dented tank and you have to go through the hassle of draining the tank, take the tank off, put it back. I mean, it's a pain in the butt. As where this one, I just slap on. And what's cool about this bike, unlike some of the other bikes that have a tank fairing, is that it's a fairing on this side and a fairing on this side. So if you drop this bike, guess what? You only got to replace this side only. You don't have to replace the whole thing like you would on that CBR 1000 RR and CBR 600 RR that I had. So that's another thing I love about this bike, man. I'm telling you, the bottom end grunt, the sound of this bike with this exhaust, the feel of riding it, it's just awesome. It's been awesome. I like this bike, like I said, told you guys, better than the MT09. It's just an amazing bike, man. Really awesome. And I know some of you guys think I'm crazy talking like that. And I've had liter bikes. I've been riding for over 11 years. And I'm going to say, man, just the feel, just sitting on this, in the garage, just sitting on this bike like this, it just feels good. Go to the dealership, sit on this bike, and I tell you, man, you're going to feel good like I am. And I tell you, these bar end mirrors are awesome, which I have links to in the description and comment section of the video. And also this phone mount, which the bike charges the phone, is connected to the bike. And also it has an aux port out here that actually charges, powers my camera when I put my GoPro Hero on here. And with another cool thing about this bike is it has an auxiliary power port you can connect into so that you can run accessories off the bike. It even has heated grips, factory heated grips you can add. All the mods I've done on this bike have been fantastic. So far, so good. Like I tell you guys, if something comes up where I don't like about this bike, I'm going to tell you about it. Just like I did that MT09 and the Tuono and all the other like 12 or 13 bikes that I've owned over the years. I keep it real with you guys, because if I don't like it, I tell you about it. I sell it and I'll buy another bike. That's just how I do. And also, you know, some of you guys mentioned in a previous video, talked about my plate. See how it's tucked back there, which I think is awesome. You don't see that too often on this bike. Some of you guys cycle cruising, man, you can get a ticket for that. Dude, I've never been bothered by the authorities at all. When you're behind this bike, you can see the plate very clearly here. That fender eliminator kit I put on here is awesome, which I did a video. I have a video link to that top right corner to show you how to install that. And it even has the smoked tail light there with the integrated turn signals. Look at that. Doesn't that look slick? That's clean, boy. Woo! Look at this bike look clean. Some of you call this bike ugly. I think it's beautiful. I love the lines, everything. I love the sound, the feel, everything. The price, cheap insurance, everything, man. Awesome. This is your cruiser. You could take this to the track. This is your sport bike. It's like an all-in-one for an awesome price. Super reliable with Yamaha reliability. I just can't say enough about this bike. You know, it's not perfect. There's no perfect motorcycle. But honestly, for just cruising and having fun out here on the streets and listen to a great soundtrack on the bike, thumbs up to the MT07. Like I said, I've been riding for over 11 years with this channel and all, with all these different bikes. And I'll tell you, I went from the liter bikes back down to the smaller bikes. And that's where the fun's at on the street, is these smaller bikes where you can get all the full power, rip on that full throttle, throw it around, torquey, awesome, bust wheelies like I do on my Supermoto. That's where it's at, man, for me personally. Now, you may find fun ripping the throttle, doing 200 miles an hour, and then get busted by the cops, and then you lose your license, you're in jail with the booty warrior. Where is that going to get you? And then, but anyways, guys, leave a comment. Let's talk about it below. Make sure to hit thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell symbol so you get notified when my new videos come out. But I release new videos every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.